Good morning.
Good morning.
I serve along with Celia Buckley as your co-chair of the annual pledge drive. Recently, a friend of mine said, "Why in the world would you do that? I would hate to ask people for money." I told her, I take this work personally. It's personal because I grew up the daughter of a Southern Baptist preacher. Thank you. And the livelihood of our family, I'm a little nervous, depended on the generosity of a congregation just like this. In those formative years, I didn't really think much about how that financial support happened. I just knew my dad was somebody everybody called pastor and someone who was always busy. I knew he spent hours preparing sermons and Bible studies. I experienced the urgency when he was called from our dinner table or called in the middle of the night to provide pastoral care for those he truly cared about. As a preacher's kid, I observed him leaving in the evenings for committee meetings, Thursday night visitation, and Friday night youth activities. And though as the preacher's kid, I never once got to see the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, it was a Sunday night and we were at church. And while the religion didn't stick, I did experience a man committed to his calling, and I learned a lot from him. I learned that you trade cars at the end of the month to get the better deal. I learned that you always have big, bold plans written in pencil so you can adjust along the way. And I learned that you find your talents and use them to better the world and do good. I learned that you save 10% and donate 10% of your income. And accordingly, as a budding pianist, I played for our children's Sunday school class. I took inventory at the church pantry, and I helped the church secretary manually fold the orders of worship each Sunday. I helped in the nursery during adult choir practice on Wednesday night, and I played catcher for the girls' softball team. And each Sunday, I put my dime, 10% of my weekly allowance, in the offering plate. I learned early that you do your part to support what you value. And I valued our church even as a little kid. One story comes to mind as I think about supporting what I love. When I was 11, my dad preached his annual sermon on giving. Dad always titled it, "Abundant Living, Abundant Giving, Same Song, Different Verse." During this pledge drive, he asked each of us to increase our giving by 10%. I quickly figured that would mean 11 cents for my dollar allowance. And that request made me stop and wonder, what good would an extra penny do? The next day, after school, I went to church and I approached my dad. He was used to my cheeky questions, but I said, "Dad, I have a question. I'm now going to give 11 cents in offering every week. I don't think that penny will make the difference." I braced myself for what my brother and I called a heart-to-heart listen. He talked and we listened. Instead, my dad stood, a legitimate 6'3", 230-pound giant of a man. I know what they really look like. He straightened his tie and walked over to the bookshelf and picked up the big black leather ledger that kept a recording of all donations given to the church. He turned it to an earmarked page and showed me what would happen if everyone increased their pledge. And he said, "You're right. Your penny won't make the difference, but combine your penny with other gifts and your penny will make a difference." That's when I learned that we aren't individually required to make the difference, but we are called upon to make a difference. That's why I'm not afraid to ask people to make an annual pledge in support of our beloved church community. I grew up seeing and feeling the impact of that generosity. I learned that a single pledge would not keep the lights on, the doors open, staff compensated, or the church's ministry sustained. But combined, each generous gift does all of that and so much more. That learning has been reinforced here at UUSS. We serve together, we volunteer together, and we give together, because when we are centered in love and united in action, we make things happen. So I'm asking you today to help make a difference, a bigger difference, in fairly compensating our staff, launching our newcomers and member engagement ministry, and expanding our capacity for social justice in the world. If you've made your pledge, thank you. If you have not, please join me. Take this personally.